So if you've just started in the car industry as a car salesman or cars woman, I want to share with you the mistakes that I commonly make so you don't make those mistakes to help you close more deals and sell more cars. My name is Christopher here from Cars Unlocked. I work in the Canadian automotive industry and I want to share my mistakes that I have made in the past so you don't make those mistakes. We're going to go through the ins and outs, and if I miss any common mistakes, guys, let's put them in the comments below so that we can all learn from each other and kind of grow and learn together. But let's get started with mistake number one. And number one is understanding what business you're in. I say this all the time, guys. Make sure you understand what business you're in. You're not in the car sales business, you're in the appointment business. So my mistake number one would be not booking appointments. Your job should be to book as many appointments as you can, because having appointments, that's going to sell you vehicles, guys. So that's why I say you're in the appointment business. So for example, a customer might say to you, okay, I'll come back tomorrow and check out that car, or I'll pop in tomorrow. And that sounds good. You may have a customer coming back tomorrow, but you want to follow that up and say, okay, tomorrow I'm having quite a busy day. Let me put you into my schedule so I can make sure I have some free time for you. What time works for you, 10:15 or 12:15? If you have a set appointment with that customer, they're more likely going to show up. It's more likely you're going to be free, and you can be properly prepared when they show up for that appointment, and you'll close more deals. Mistake number two happens when you're qualifying your customers. So you want to qualify all your customers. For example, ask them a ton of questions, asking them why they came to your dealership, what features they're looking for, what car they're driving now, what do they like or dislike about it, how are they planning on paying for the vehicle, who's going to be driving the vehicle, when were they looking to get their car in their driveway. All those types of questions are qualifying questions that you should be asking your customers. And it took me a long time to learn the proper qualifying questions to ask. And now I kind of just have them all ingrained in my head, and I don't need to do it with a sheet of paper. We used to have a piece of paper, an up sheet that we filled out. I can do that whole piece of paper in my head now because I've done it so many times, and that's the level that you should get on. Just knowing what questions to ask your customer right away and making sure you ask these questions every single time is just going to give you more information, and then you can structure your sales pitch and learn how to sell the car to the customer and tailor it to that specific customer's needs. Number three here, guys, this is a lesson I learned a long time ago when I first started out, and that was not going on test drives. You can't be lazy here. This is a big mistake. If you send a customer out on a test drive and you don't go with them, you're missing a huge opportunity. You're missing a big opportunity to build their trust. You're missing a big opportunity to handle their objections. You're missing a big opportunity to qualify and build rapport with your customer. And I understand now with the recent pandemic, it's a little different to go on test drives. Some dealerships' policies might be a little different and they don't want to go on test drives with you. That's okay. But if a customer is comfortable enough to get in the car and drive with you and in front of you, then they probably trust you, and you are just building trust simply from getting in the seat with them and getting in the car with them. You've already built their trust and earned their trust. And this is a lot of time to tackle their objectives. So a lot of times, customers will come back from a test drive and they'll say, oh, the seat wasn't adjusted. I didn't know how to adjust the seat, or the car seemed like it was like revving too high, and it's simply because they're not operating the car properly. But if you're in the car with them and they're having issues, you can handle those objections and you can show them how to operate the car and fix those issues right away. Number four is presenting too many options. So this is why you need to qualify your customers that we mentioned in number two, so you can narrow it down to maybe one, maybe two vehicle options. You don't want to present them with a ton of information. Remember, the customer has kind of already an information overload when they're shopping for cars. They have all this information being thrown at them, and if you're throwing them information for 4 or 5 different cars, it's a lot to digest. So you should be able to qualify your customers and then present them with 1 to 2 car options when you're walking the lot. And then you should have it narrowed down to 1 for the test drive, and hopefully you can present them numbers on that 1. That's an ideal situation, and only present them maybe 1 to 2 different buying options for that car. If you present them, okay, here's your option on the first car A, and here's your option for a loan, for a lease, for a cash purchase, and here's car 2 with a loan, for a lease, or a cash purchase, and here's car 3 with a loan, lease, and cash purchase, what's the customer going to say to you? They're going to look at those numbers and be like, I need to go home and think about all this and digest these numbers. So try to narrow it down to one option, maybe two, and that will help you close more deals, and you won't hear, I have to go home and think about it, or I have to go do my research. You won't hear that as much. Number 5 is knowing how to approach your competition. So this goes just with any sales here. Knowing how to approach your competition is kind of key for any salesman's job. I'm a big believer in sales of not kind of bashing the competition. So if a customer says, they're looking at my Nissan Rogue, and they say they want to go drive a Toyota RAV4, I'm not going to say to them, Toyota RAV4s are horrible, like you don't want to go drive that. You instantly make the customer feel low by saying that, because you're kind of discrediting their decision. You want to say to them, okay, great, yeah, Toyota's a great car. I've driven a lot of Toyotas, but I do like the features of the Nissan Rogue better, and here's why. You want to present them with a positive spin on it and not make them feel like you're putting them down for going to look at the competition. I would just say, hey, feel free to go drive the Toyota. Feel free to go drive the Toyota RAV4. While you're driving it, keep in mind that the Nissan Rogue has this, this, and this that the RAV4 doesn't. And then when they're driving that car, they're going to be thinking about what your car has that the one they're driving doesn't. So understanding your competition, understanding the positive benefits is something that all salespeople should know. And it's a mistake that I commonly made when I was starting out, where I would kind of talk negatively about the competition, and it never worked out well for me. Another mistake that I made is not asking for referrals. So a big thing here, guys, you need to ask every customer that's purchased a car, every friend, every family member, every coworker that you meet, you need to ask them for referrals, and you need to pay a bonus for those referrals. So right now I pay my customers $250 for any successful referral, and I feel like it's worked out well for me. It's very common in the car industry that most dealerships, in my area anyway, pay $100 for a referral, and most people know that they can refer a friend or a family member to any dealership and get $100. But I've set mine at $250 simply to set myself above all the other dealerships, and they're going to want to send their customers to me just to make that extra $250. Family is big here, guys. If someone trusts you, it's most likely that their uncle or their brother or their sister is also going to trust you, and they're going to pass on your name. So try to ask all your customers for referrals, pay out a bonus for your referrals, and follow through with paying out that bonus. Don't not pay them, because that just makes things even worse. But follow up, establish a good referral game, and you'll see how many referrals you get. I have customers that come in and they'll bring their referrals right in with them, and they'll come in, and it's more of on a friendly basis here because we know each other and we've seen each other so many times. So it's a lot easier sale when someone is being referred to you and they already trust you and they're already comfortable with you. So establishing your referral game right off the beginning is big. Mistake number 7 that I often made was not asking for sales. And before I started selling cars, I worked in phone sales, and the same principles apply. Basically, any sales job, you want to ask for the sale. Common saying is, if you don't ASK, you won't GET. So you got to ask for the sale. Every customer, you need to ask for your sale. No matter how many times they've told you they're not buying today, it doesn't hurt to ask. Ask them for the sale. All they're going to say is no anyway, but it's really crucial to ask them for the sale. I put another video out of my 10 closing tips and how to ask for a sale, so check that out if you need help asking for the sale. Always best just to get it out of the way, swallow your pride, suck it up a little bit, and just ask them for the sale. Very easy. Check out my top 10 tips for how to ask. My last mistake, and I still make this mistake to this day, and that is to sell what you can see. So basically, you want to walk the lots for the customer, and you want to sell them a car that you have on your lot, that you can feel them, you can feel it, and you can touch it. Try not to do many locates. Try not to tell the customer, oh, I have a trade-in coming in next week that I think would be perfect for you. Try to close your customer right on the spot, right then and there. Sell them a car that you can see. You don't know how long or what could happen during the time you're waiting for another car to arrive. The only time you should really do a locate is if they're on a new vehicle and you don't have the specific color or the specific package that they're looking for. There's so many variables when you're getting cars and you're waiting on cars that could jeopardize your chances of getting a sale. So I always like to sell the cars that I can feel, that I can touch, that the customer's seen. Then there's no surprises. You have them in the door and out the door, and you're not waiting around for cars to arrive. You're already on to your next sale. So sell what you can see is my last tip. Subscribe to my channel if you're new to car sales or you're a car salesman and you need help selling cars. I do videos like this every so often, and make sure we can learn and grow together. Let me know the mistakes that you guys have made in the comment section below. And if you have questions, as always, send me a DM on Instagram.